Hi guys, my name is Sarah, and I'm just going to tell you a bit about my experience as a Bachelor of Medical Sciences student and hopefully give you guys some very useful pieces of advice along the way. Um, so, I started a Bachelor of Medical Sciences in session 1, 2018, and I had just come straight out of high school, so I'd finished my HSC in 2017. Something I did was I definitely took the mindset that you kind of learn in HSC into my bachelor's, which is not a great way to go about things. I was very competitive and overly obsessed with grades and marks because in HSC, I feel like the experience for a lot of students is you don't really learn to learn, you just kind of learn to get a certain ATAR or grade, and it's almost like the learning experience is kind of a burden. Um, and I went into uni pretty obsessed with what GPA I was going to get because I did want to get a really high GPA because I wanted to get into a really good master's degree in healthcare. So that was my main driving force. Like, I wasn't as concerned about what I was learning. So, what this did was it kind of took away from the beauty of learning for like the first year of my degree. Um, and there are some things, some concepts that I did learn that I wish I had gone back and really like appreciated them because they're like, especially medical science, you learn some pretty amazing things. So yeah, my first piece of advice would definitely be to try and get out of that mindset of just worrying about marks and grades and, if you got 100% on that quiz or not, and maybe focus a bit more on what you are actually learning and seeing if you actually do enjoy this because obviously with a degree everything is a bit more long term. Like, you're in this degree to hopefully get into a career or field for potentially the rest of your life. So you do really want to reflect on what you are learning and be like, do I understand this? Do I want to pursue this for the rest of my life? Instead of just worrying about grades, which aren't so important in the long run. I think also what's really important to focus on, which I didn't really focus on too much, is learning skills. Um, this unit, Foundations of Medical Sciences, is really, really important for that. You guys are learning heaps of skills that will come up again and again in your career and in your degree. I did have to take a similar unit, not this exact unit in my degree, but I do remember I completely took it for granted. I remember sitting in the pracs and just waiting for it to end pretty much. Like, I'd look at under the microscope at the slide and be like, okay, cool. And that's it. Like, I really didn't appreciate this experience that I was getting, and especially in a unit like this where it's pass fail, so grades aren't the most important thing, and you have the opportunity to make mistakes and learn completely without having to stress about marks. So definitely don't take these units that are more skills based for granted because it is really important to set a strong foundation now because later on they will come up again and you will get assessed on skills. Sorry, you will get assessed in skills in different units and sometimes you have to catch up a bit. I had to catch up a bit in my second year units when it came to skills because I simply wasn't paying attention. So definitely don't make that same mistake. I think it's also a good idea, especially in your first year, to go into a medical science degree with an open mind because a lot of the units you will do this year are required. I know chemistry is required. There are a few bio units that are required. And especially with chemistry, a lot of people go in hating it like before they've even started. And again, all this does for you is make it a miserable learning experience. And although most of you probably are coming into this degree with a very clear-cut goal, I know a lot of you want to go into Doctor of Medicine, it is definitely a good idea just to test some things out along the way, see if you enjoy chemistry, keep an open mind because honestly, myself and everyone else who I did a Bachelor of Medical Sciences with, we started off with one goal, But this degree takes you in so many places that you do end up changing your mind some of the time. And a lot of the people I did my degree with are in completely different career paths and fields that they didn't think they would be in, but they were really enjoying it. And that's due to units that they have done in medical science. So definitely keep an open mind and go in with a good attitude, because if you go in with a bad attitude, it's going to be a lot harder to do well, which I know is a lot of you guys' main goal. So yeah, first year, definitely take the time to just soak up information, really practice and learn skills, and be very open-minded. When it comes to second year, I know you guys at this point will have picked your major. When it comes to picking your major, please pick something you enjoy. When I did this degree, there were no majors, so you just kind of picked random units that fit into your requirements that you could. A lot of people would pick units simply because they look really smart, especially people going into Doctor of Medicine. They wanted to do medicinal chemistry, and just units that they didn't enjoy, but they thought were like smart units for smart people. And this really didn't end well. I made the same mistake. I did a lot of chemistry units, and when I look back, there's about half of my degree that I just completely didn't enjoy because I wasn't passionate about it. I would have much rather gone down the anatomy and physiology route. I did do a few anatomy and physiology units, and I absolutely loved them. I ended up thriving, getting HDs, and just really enjoying the content because I wanted to be there. But I remember chemistry being such a burden for me, and I didn't do so well. So even though the whole point was to make it look like I was really smart, it did affect my GPA and WAM negatively. So it was kind of counterproductive. So definitely pick something you enjoy, and don't worry if it looks smart or not, because at the end of the day, looking back, no one has approached me, no masters has turned me back, no job has turned me back because I didn't do such unit that is, supposedly smarter than another unit. So definitely pick a major you do enjoy. Don't get peer pressured to do something you don't enjoy, because you want this to be an enjoyable experience. I do understand that there is an end goal. A lot of you guys are going to be very competitive in wanting to get to your end goal, but there is more to that. You really want to have a good time and enjoy yourself, because you guys are very young in your careers. Some of you are very young in life, and you will learn as you go along in your degree that your mental health and your happiness are going to come before a mark or how a unit makes you look, like if you're doing a smart unit or a not so smart unit. So yeah, definitely pick what you want to pick. And yes. So second year, definitely you should be like getting into the groove. But if you're not, it is okay. I was making mistakes up until like the last semester, the last month of my degree. I was constantly making mistakes, but I was constantly learning. And I think it is really important, especially with this degree, because it's inevitable. You will make mistakes, but how you take them is what matters most. I really want you guys to take it with a grain of salt and be like, okay, I've made this mistake, accept it and learn from it. Instead, it is very easy to fall into a slump. I know a lot of people who have just fallen into a slump after one mistake. But if you truly enjoy it and truly remember your passion and why you are doing this, you will get through it and it'll be okay. Second, third year, it was very much, I was enjoying myself more because I started realizing the importance of picking units I enjoyed and actually focusing more on what I was learning and not just the grades I was getting. Another thing that is important is to definitely open your horizons in terms of what your end goal is. So I was very, very, very adamant that I was going to do this degree. I was going to get a really good GPA and I was going to get into a Doctor of Medicine and I was going to be successful, was the gist. So when opportunities arose, where there are going to be heaps in this degree, a lot of lecturers, tutors make it known that there are outside opportunities like summer internships. There are even some opportunities to tutor and teach these units. I kind of turned most of them down because I was like, no, I know what I want to do. I don't want to do that. I want to do a Doctor of Medicine. The only opportunity I really would have taken up is if it was like to work in a hospital. But at some point I did decide to tutor because the opportunity arose to me and I was like, why not? This ended up creating a huge shift in what I wanted because I ended up really enjoying tutoring a lot more than I thought I would. But I was still really stubborn and I was like, no, I'm going to work. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a doctor. So I finished my degree and I ended up getting the WAM I needed, the GAMSAT score I needed, and I did apply for medicine and I didn't get in. And at first this did shake me a lot because I had worked so hard all these years. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to get another degree in healthcare or start another degree in healthcare and like sort of work my way into Doctor of Medicine however I could. So I did end up doing that. I got into a Master of Diagnostic Radiography just this year and I did start it and I absolutely hated it, to be honest. And I did realize that I hated going to uni to do this degree, but obviously I'm working as a tutor, but I would absolutely love coming in to do tutoring. So finally, after 3 years, I decided to stop being stubborn and be like, look, clearly this isn't for me. And now I'm, looking at progressing as an academic staff member, doing a Master of Research, seeing what I can do there. Because I've realized that I'm not, like Doctor of Medicine, working in healthcare isn't all what I thought it would be. Which I'm saying for some of you, it'll be really great. But I know a lot of you, especially after working so hard for a goal, like from year 11 to now, or like to the end of your degree, it's going to be a bit of a shock if you change your mind and you almost feel like you can't change your mind. So my advice there is to kind of go with the flow and just, if you enjoy something, go for what you enjoy. Especially in this degree, it is so, so easy to change your mind halfway through of what your overall career goal is. Like, it's not like you're doing a Bachelor of Engineering that you're doing engineering to become an engineer. And if you want to do something else, you have to start from scratch. This degree is very good at so I wanted to go into healthcare and then I'm like, wait, I changed my mind. I'm going to go here. And there are so many different branches under this degree. So please don't just don't knock something before you try it, which is why I'm trying to say take the opportunity, especially this year, to suss out what you like because it'll save you time in the future. So that's pretty much all my advice. I feel like, there is obviously other pieces of advice like to do with time management and studying hard, all that. But I feel like a lot of you guys will know that. And I feel like it is always kind of swept under the rug that you should be doing something you enjoy. If you are doing something and you are unhappy and you think that suffering and hard work equals successful, to definitely change your thinking pattern. And I want you guys to enjoy this degree as much as you can. I don't want you to look back and think about what a horrible time you had, because I think back to my HSC and what a horrible time I had. But because especially towards my second and third year in this degree, I did start to learn because I wanted to learn and not necessarily for the grades. I look back with so many fond memories. So definitely learn, be open-minded, put yourself out there. If there are opportunities, go for them and just try your best and do your best because that's all you can do. So yeah, that's all my advice. Good luck with your degrees, guys, and I wish you all the best.